Good afternoon, good evening, Cambodia, good afternoon, South Africa. Yeah, you back with Pepper's Echo, the man in the street from the outside looking in. My name's Andre. Welcome to the show. If you're watching live, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. If you're watching on a rerun, touche. Thank you very, very much. It is very much appreciated. Getting things out of the order. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of any future echoes. And please share this video. It's the only way that I do get my chats out there, and it would be super to actually get our subscribers up again. So please do get them out there. Currently, I think I've lost 2 or 3 in the process. So as I said last week, I don't know if I've offended someone. I do apologize if I do, but that is not my intention. My intention is to create the questions of an ordinary man in the street from the outside looking in. So yes, please like and subscribe. If at all you have any subjects that you would like us to discuss, or if you would like to come onto the show to discuss something, doesn't need to be political, doesn't need to be South African, doesn't need to be Cambodian, can be anything at all. Please, I would love to have you on the show, and drop me a mail at peppersecho@gmail.com, PEPRSECHO, no double P, no E. That is corrected that as such, PEPRSECHO@gmail.com. Please drop me a mail, and I would love to have you on there. So, yeah, for those of you who are stalwart watchers, Linda, always to you, shout out to you. Thank you so very much for always watching. I really appreciate. And yes, I don't know if Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock is the greatest time to be on in South Africa. So I am still calling out and saying, guys, please let me know if I should change this time. It is 7 o'clock in Cambodia, so I could probably do an hour or 2 forward as well. Or we could change the day, etc., as such. So you're watching the live echo, and my name's Andre. Welcome to Pepper's Echo. I haven't had much time to prepare at all today, so I'm running like a sort of a rather unprepared show. Just got web pages to go, trawling through News 24, Times Live, Daily Maverick, taking a look at Cambodian news, Khmer Times, the Quora. If we get time to actually get to that as well, we can actually chat about that. And then bit of a tweet beat if we need to take a look at that as well. I have no fixed opinion. I do give you my view or my point of view, but I am very happy to accommodate yours or to change my view should I feel that your view convinces me differently. So I'm not ramming it down your throat, but I do have points of view as well. So I would be most happy. Hey, Pastor Coral, thank you so very much for watching, for being on here. And I actually want you on the show. Hello from ZA. There we go. I want you on the show sometime, sire. So, yeah, we are going to be chatting to you as well. Hopefully one of these days, I actually need to have a nice long chat with you. He's an absolutely exceptionally stalwart guy, Pastor Coral Joubert. And he has... done many things to change in my life as well as we went along the road. And what a pleasure and what an honor and what a privilege actually to have you on the show as well. Welcome. So nice. Yo. Actually makes me feel better for actually coming onto the show because I've had such a day today. When you get to the bank at 12:30 in the afternoon and you leave at 5:22, it would be... really mind-numbing. Yeah, anytime I owe you a phone call, we're going to chat about it. And guys, if you're watching on a rerun as well, please note we will let this one come up early and we will tune. I will hopefully be very soon, one of these Sundays, be having a chat to Pastor Coral Joubert. He's the pastor, if I can do a little punting, of an absolutely stunning church in Alberton in Johannesburg in South Africa, Bethel Lofprysenskerk. And what a pleasure. I was there when I lived in Alberton in Johannesburg. What a bunch of people. What an amazing people. I actually got to meet them the first day I got there on a men's camp. And man, I felt like I'd been there for years already. Wonderful, wonderful people, a lovely vibe, a music group, second to none. So if you enjoy a good vibe, that's where you need to be. I also would like to punt it up, and I will make sure that I get this into the comments downstairs, down below as well. On Sundays at, I think it is 9 a.m., correct me if I'm wrong, there is a live broadcast of the church service, and it is really so cool, down to earth. You would really, really enjoy it. It is no heavy swallowing, but it is the hard truth as well. So don't expect any pussyfooting around the place as well. But catch them at Bethel Lofprijskerk at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, live on their website as well. If you actually subscribe to them on Facebook, you will also be able to get daily messages as well that come up from the different ministers. Fabulous people. Well done. Welcome. So glad to have you on the show as well. So yes, as I said, I've ended up with not being prepared, caught with my pants down. Luckily, you can only see my top half, but yeah, the bottom half would scar you for life. But yeah, it is an unprepared. I've sort of like just run through newspapers and news and things to that effect. I am still very, very much wanting to know, guys, are you vaccinated? Are you going to get vaccinated? My question, and I'd like a lot of people, and this is what I'd want to throw the question out there. If you aren't, why not? Is it because you want to and you haven't had the opportunity to do so? Is it because you don't want to? Is it because of what you've heard about it? Is it because of what somebody else has said about it? How do you feel? Okay, let me just get this up here. 9 o'clock in South Africa, Sunday morning on Bethel Lofprijskerk. Please don't forget to catch them. It is wonderful. And if you do miss it, and you are sometimes like me, do I have to be honest on this one? Yeah, can't lie to a minister. Right, and you do miss it, do catch it. It is there. Do catch it. You can go and pick it up again. It is also sometimes the only little bit of spiritual guidance that we get. And as I said, it's down to earth, absolutely great, but don't expect any bull in the process. But yes, as I said, getting back to where I'm talking about vaccination, I'd like to know, are you vaccinated? Aren't you vaccinated? I have been vaccinated a couple of months back already. We've actually been vaccinated so far back already that I've forgotten. We were actually talking here in Cambodia about being booster shot. Now, the booster shot that we want to get, I think is the AstraZeneca shot. I don't know very much about it. As I said, I believe that what you look for, you will find. Because I've had many chats with people, and everyone said, well, this and this and this happened, and that and that and that happened, and this happened to this person, and this has happened to this person. And you're all going to hell if you get vaccinated. And then the next one goes, well, no, this is an absolute miracle. You know what? It's a miracle cure. You cannot go wrong with. It's not a miracle cure. And I don't think you will absolutely die if you get it. However, I do believe you need to use your God-given discernment gift to decide whether it is or is not for you to go ahead for as such. I do not believe that anything in the media at the moment is of any use to you because of the fact that mainstream media is so contradicting and so powerfully determining your lives at the moment. So if you're looking at a shoddy government like the ANC at the moment, which is absolutely the worst bunch of baboons that you can ask for to run a country, and I know, and I'm hoping in this next election that they actually get a good amount of municipalities lost from them because they are just running them into the ground. But if you think they are telling you what to do, think again. And think mainstream media, and then think if you're using your absolute God-given right to make the decisions in your life, or if mainstream media is making those decisions in your life, or if the government is making decisions in your life. Take a look at who you're trying to justify against. I was listening, my wife was chatting with my son this evening, And he was like, oh, and this is going to be sorry, and this is going to be doing this, and I need to do this and I'll show them this. And you know what, guys? Let me be honest. From my point of view, you have absolutely nothing to prove in your life to anybody except yourself as such. I think the biggest way of actually taking a weight off your shoulders, and don't be like me and take so long to learn about it. Take that weight off your shoulders. Stop trying to prove to others. Use your own discernment. No, if there's something you need to achieve, then achieve it, but not to show anyone up, not to down anyone down, but achieve it because it is a goal that you want. My life has had an absolute change, and I don't want to actually talk about it right now because it's not right through. Everything isn't tied up yet. It should be by tomorrow, but it is absolutely stressing me out from here to Cairo. And yeah, Carol, if you're still watching, you know how badly I can stress about things. You've been with me when I've stressed hectically before. But I've had life-changing week, and I took a look at the fact, and I know I'm not going on to news and that at the moment, guys, so I'm sorry, but I'm actually having a nice chat at the moment, so see it as the echo chat. But I just want to give you a little bit of a life change chat from my side. When I actually moved, and you know what, be you religious or be you not religious, I think you need to believe somewhere or in something to be able to know that there is faith to be had and doors to be opened and doors that are closed on purpose. But, and by no means have I always never ever said anything else. I have always said to you straight out, I identify and profess to be Christian, and that is the route that I do follow. So please, respect me as well as such. But when we decided to move to Cambodia, it was probably the most almost knee-jerk, mad decision. People looked at me and went, "Are you mad? What made you to decide this?" We had never left the country except to go to Swaziland. And that was for a motorcycle rally. And we knew we were going there for the weekend, have a good time, come back. So you know what, that wasn't hectic. But then we decided we actually with a full heart wanted to go to New Zealand. And we would have had the money to go to New Zealand, and everything panned out for us to be able to go to New Zealand, except we were struggling to get into New Zealand. When I ended up so I don't know if I've told you my story yet. So here's the Pepper's Echo story. So I'm not going to do news and views today. So we'll run with Pepper's story. So I do apologize if it's not the great news you want today. But it's, you know what? Thanks, Coral. You've just given me a bit of an inspiration today. And what happened is I didn't get, so I got a business opportunity. Well, first of all, you know what? Had a massive, absolute blowout, etc., breakdown, hospital, blah, blah, blah. Something I don't want to say I'm ashamed of it all, but I do see it as the past as such. However, it was a wake-up call. People go, well, I'm depressed and I'm like anxious and whatever. You don't want to end up in hospital. I'm embarrassed that you know what? 3 weeks in hospital was the best thing that ever happened to me. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I applied my mind at sorting myself out. I applied at what the doctors said. I applied at what the psychologist said. I applied myself to actually getting out of there. I didn't sit there and go, somebody feels sorry for me. And my wife couldn't come and see me every night because it was like right in the middle of Cape Town. So she could like every second afternoon after work, maybe make the trip into Cape Town to come and see me. Otherwise, it was there. But the thing is, anything you actually apply yourself to goes correctly as it should go. And I think that was really a good thing. Then what happened is we were going to go to New Zealand, and we were wanting with sore hearts, everything. I would have left my work and the whole toots, and we would have had enough money to get over to New Zealand and see to ourselves, etc. Naturally, this was not meant to be as such, because suddenly I got a job offer, well, not a job offer, a business opportunity offer, because I love training, and that's why I love teaching. What happened is I said, well, yeah, no, sure, let's take this. I mean, this is in our lap. This is what's meant to be. I still to this day know that it's what's meant to be, even though it wasn't successful. We then took all the money that we got out and we threw it into this business. And You'll be surprised that a service business actually costs a hang of a lot of money. When you're buying intellectual property, when you're buying name, when you're putting websites together, you're doing training courses, and sometimes maybe I did a few unnecessary things as well. And I got, should I say, retainer. I was on a retainer with a company which is really, really doing well. And that took up almost 3 out of my 4 weeks in the month. I'm not a person who works well at home. So, of course, I eventually found an office space to actually get up and go to when I wasn't teaching or training at the training center at the company that I was retained with, or traveling around doing training, or sometimes doing smaller training. And I did a couple of HR hearings and things and stuff like that as well. But sadly, about a year later or so, the company took a turn for the worse and had to cut me off. Me, with a whole lot of debt, which had cost me to actually swing the whole company around. Sorry, I just looked at a message which I shouldn't have known. Me with a whole lot of debt with where I would have had money, I now had to walk out of a business where I had a ton of debt, nothing to my name. I had nothing to bring an income in. I suddenly hit desperation street. So what happened then? I had to run around finding a job. Of course, I found a job in retail. I was very fortunate to find a job in retail management, and very nice people, although it was retail still. Not a very high paying job. I think my salary was half of what I had when I actually went into, when I left retail. So it was not the greatest of salary. And I actually had to move from Johannesburg to Nelspruit as such. So, and at my own cost as well. So that put in more debt on the burden. Moving into a very, very small space, things did not look fantastic for us at all. It had gone from wanting to move to New Zealand to a business opportunity to what's happening to me. Why is this happening to me? Why am I not coming out of this? What is the story? You know, I'm sure many of us feel like that in our lives, that we get to so many stumbling blocks. You think this opportunity was fantastic and you breathe, and next thing, that breath has turned to ice and you've slipped on it and you're lying on your face. Fortunately, as I said, I had been in Johannesburg that year, and it was good. You know, it was good for my church life and everything, and I'd spent a good amount of time there as well, and I'd built up a little bit more positivity. So still, obviously, we got work, and I do believe that it was divine intervention that I was able to find work so quickly. I mean, I'd finished off 1 month with the company, and I just went absolutely ape looking for work. And I think, in hindsight, if I'd just breathed and stepped back and looked a little bit more, I would have found work in Johannesburg, and I wouldn't have had to transfer to Nelspruit and pay moving and removal fee costs and everything there. But the company promised me to bring me back to Johannesburg as soon as they can. And true to their word, after a year in Nelspruit, which, yeah, it's a nice place, but not my place, I came back. They moved me back. Fortunately, they moved me back at company expense this time to Johannesburg. And there I was, still stuck in retail, still stuck in early mornings, late nights, Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays, you name it. It was survival mode. It was not in any form living anymore. It was really, you know, and yeah, we kept a good head above water in being positive. But things just went. I mean, we had to cancel all insurances, everything, the whole lot. We were without a car for a while, and we had to get another car. The cars broke down. You know, everything still seemed to go terribly wrong. But we footed it out there until, you know, and I still in the back of my head had this move to New Zealand type of thing. But yeah, it did not pull very well. So, and that had cost me a lot of money as well, just by the way, in the region of at least about a 25,000, just to like start moving that along. So that was on its own quite hectic. But in the long run, we suddenly had friends that had gone to teach, and being somebody who enjoys teaching and loves training, and I like to be able to put in to do something for people to get out again, we decided let's move to Cambodia. There's friends that we know here, and funnily enough, the friends that we know here that actually moved us across to Cambodia aren't here anymore, because they after a year, we just got here and got settled in. They moved back to South Africa. Sadly, he is still sitting without work in South Africa. It's that bad, but another story. We spoke about it, and it was 2018, December 2018. We said, you know what, this is the last Christmas. I hated Christmas in retail. I thought it was the most vile season of the year. I have seen the most beautiful people, the most wonderful people, the most Christian of people turn venomous from greed, derive hatred, become absolute monsters over a Christmas period because of greed and money and want and everything. It is, you know what, absolutely devastating to work in retail over Christmas because of the horridness that comes out in people because of worldly and material things. And I've seen it year after year after year in retail. Not to mention during the year, you still see, as I said to you before, this is why the government is what it is, because people can't even stand together. Our own people trash us like mites under their feet because they can and because they feel entitled. But once again, that's another story. So at December, I remember we were still getting ready for church, for the New Year's Eve church. We decided that's it. We're going to do our TEFL certificates. TEFL is teaching English as a foreign language. That you will usually need in any situation when you go and teach overseas. Most countries, most decent countries that you want to go and teach in overseas do require a degree. I've only acquired mine when I was here, so I can actually move along if I want to. But things seeming the way it is, I might not be moving along too soon. But Cambodia doesn't currently. But so we started deciding, right, TEFL certificate, but they'd been terribly, terribly expensive. We hadn't been able to find any reasonably priced TEFL certificates till our friend over here sent us one, a Groupon deal, and said, here's one. And wow, this works out. I mean, it was going to cost us like about 3,700, 4,000 Rand each to be able to do a TEFL certificate. That's way over 7,000 Rand for my wife and myself. Then we got this Groupon deal for the same certificate, which was a deal. So we went onto the Groupon and went, right, we're going to do this. Bam. And this was still New Year's Eve. This is like New Year's Eve, the night we were wanting to start getting dressed and ready for church. And woe betide, another block in the road. The deal had closed. Luckily, there was the link to the site. So I went into the site and I said, you know, what's your costs and everything? The guys, I was in live chat with the chap and he said, well, what's up? I said, well, you had a Groupon deal that I actually wanted to take advantage of. And I, you know, for my wife and myself, I wanted to take 2 of those, but it seems to have closed. And he messaged us back and he said, you know what? Well, if you pay tonight, now this is still valid till 12 o'clock. And I'm looking at about 9 o'clock the evening. He says, still valid till 12 o'clock. I can invoice you, you can pay for it, and we can still get you on at the deal price. Now, let me give you an idea. It was 745 Rand each compared to 3,700 Rand each. So, of course, right in the middle, this is about almost 9, 10 o'clock. I'm trying to get dressed. I'm running through the shower, getting myself cleaned up. And in the same time, this guy is mailing me from the UK invoices, and I'm online mailing payings back. Believe it or not, before we left for church at 11 o'clock that evening, we had booked our TEFL certificates. Wow. you know what? That's a door opened. I mean, when you've been looking for and looking for and looking for, then you find a deal, you find the door closed, then it is opened again like that for you. There's definitely a reason. You got 6 months to do that TEFL certificate. My wife and I came home every night at 7 o'clock. We had supper, and from 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock, we sat working on those TEFL certificates for 3 weeks flat. And we finished it, say, in a month. At the end of that month, we were able to get our results. Praise the Lord, we had passed. We were getting basically telephonic support from our friends that were in Cambodia, at that time, and had already suggested schools that we take a look at, had already suggested a hotel that we look at to stay when we get here, etc., etc. And now we needed to make up enough money. To give you a general idea, you need, to be fair and comfortable, you need $2,000 at least when you get here. So if I take it now, and I said to you $2,000, whoops, not 20, that's 28,000 Rand. So that's about 30,000 Rand plus air tickets. I didn't know how we're going to make that. But we decided we would start selling everything. We started selling everything. We sold our car and borrowed it for a week. We sold our furniture and borrowed it till the end of the month. It was amazing. We sold our bed and slept on the floor. We didn't have TV. We were watching Netflix on an iPad. But everything started happening. Even when we had to sell our car eventually, the day before we actually had to take it to the people, bam, it broke. It cost us over 2,000 Rand to fix that car. And then they said, oh, no, something else has happened. Your brakes has been closed. I don't know. Eventually, fortunately, the person that was buying the car, we could go to and we said, we know you fix up the car and sell it. Don't you want to go and take a look what it costs? You can fix it, take the price off what you're buying for it. You know what? And we were really blessed with somebody who actually did that. So he went and he came back and he was, what a nice chap. And he actually said, well, look, this is how much I need to take off. I can try and make sure that you get the money. But so, you know what, right from getting the TEFL certificates to getting the deal, to getting our items sold, to, you know what, where someone would go, why does my car break? Why is this happening to me? We got that sold as well. We eventually got our money for our air tickets. We got the money to be able to have at least 30,000 Rand together after selling everything. I've shown you photos of the wife and I that had only 2 suitcases left as such. We handed in our resignations without a visa in Cambodia, and B, without a job in Cambodia. Everything just opened up for us. Everything just opened up. You know what? You know that these things have got to happen for you when it just opens up and opens up. I honestly believe so. It didn't matter the hardships we faced, we were taken through it. And even though people were going, are you mad? What do you think you're doing? How the hang did you just bam? And this happened. And I said, you know what? It's just that this is probably the hardest, easiest thing I've ever done, because it's so hard to get done, but everything is just falling in place, falling in place, falling in place. Then you've got to realize your calling. And of course, you know what? Said my prayers, tried to keep answers coming. In whichever way your faith or belief takes you, I think you should try and listen sometimes, because it's when I don't listen, then I don't see where I'm going, or don't hear where I need to go to, or see what is opening in front of me. But believe it or not, on the 7th of March, 2019, we were on a flight to Cambodia. We landed in Cambodia. We left on the Thursday evening or morning, and we arrived here on the Friday evening. To say the least, we got to go to customs to get visas. We did visa applications. It was $35 each. We were told put EB, not just e-visa. E is a tourist visa. What happens if you get an e-visa? It's only a tourist visa. You can't get work on that visa. Also, when you have completed a month's stay, you need to then leave the country to come back in again. So many people who've got it, who've had to go off to Thailand or to Vietnam or something like that, spend the night there and come back again. to be able to renew their visa as such. And then working is a problem. And we asked for the EB visa. We paid for the EB visa, and the guys put the visas in our hand, in our passports. There we go. Through you go. We went through and out of customs to go and fetch our suitcases. Only then did I look at our visa, and to my horror, once more, another stumbling block had hit us. They'd given us e-visas and not EB visas, which said visitors only, valid a month. Well, I was back at that customs desk, and I wasn't rude, but I was like absolutely stressed out, silly. I'm like, well, I got to get back to this. I paid for the right one. Somehow they let us through. We got back to customs. Customs was not interested in helping us. Those generals and people just sat there and looked at us. And I'm like, please. I said, you know what? We paid $35 each for this thing. He gave me $10 back. I said, look, I don't want the difference in money. I need to have the right visa. He looked at me and says, you ticked the wrong block. I said, please, I'm telling you, I ticked the right block. Eventually, one, and it only took one got up. I went to take a look at our forms. And he came back to us and he said, it's still your fault. You didn't check when you got your visa. I said, it's definitely my fault. Definitely my fault. But fortunately, we had ticked the right blocks and everything. And they corrected it for us and put it in. People say they don't know how we got that right. They say once you go through customs and you're out, there is no ways, absolutely no ways that you can return back into customs again. There's absolutely no ways. We were able to go back into customs. So let's talk gates being opened. We got to Cambodia and I looked and I went, oh my word. What have I done? What have I done? Because it is, look, you know what? One way or another, Cambodia is a culture shock, guys. And I will try, I did show you the other days as I was going down the street, and I will try as I get out a little bit more to take a few more videos and pics and things and have a few more chats like this on Pepper's Echo and not just politicize the whole thing as we go by. But this occurred. We got into a hotel. We stayed there for 10 days, but from that hotel, we started walking around to look for work. Now, you get here in Cambodia, you don't have a interview in South Africa and they give you a job offer and a job and you come here with a job. We had no job. We had $2,000, of which I think we'd spent $100 because it's freaking expensive on the airport for a cup of coffee. When you're paying rands, you want to break into tears just asking for a bottle of water. But we walked around 2 days, guys, and we had work. We were signed up with work. At the end of our first week, we could go and work. I don't know if it was 1 week or 8 days before we started working at a school. Tell me there's no hand in that. Tell me there's no hand in that. We worked there. We were we were 10 days in the hotel when we got our first apartment. Because we had not given out so much money, we were able to put a deposit down. And we started working in the school. And it was tough. It wasn't the easiest of schools to work at. It wasn't the most organized of schools to work at, etc., etc. But we got by, and it was an experience. It built our experience to the point where we eventually got positions in a pretty decent school. My wife teaches there still. I am primary principal of the school at the moment, of the main campus. We moved apartments twice to an apartment that we never thought we'd be able to afford. And here we are in a lovely, I'm not saying we are in a mansion. It's a 1-bedroom apartment, but it's a Western apartment. If I need gas for the stove, I phone downstairs. If I need water, I phone downstairs. There's a reception downstairs. There's an inside, there's an outside pool. There's 2 gyms in this place. We get taken to work by tuk-tuk every day, and we get brought back from work, except now when the wife is working at home, but I am I still go into school. Anyway, so now we decide, well, it's time we maybe move on to a different country or something like that. And we start prepping and putting everything together. And it has cost some money to put things together and et cetera, et cetera. And it's just, you know what, something keeps falling in the way, something keeps falling in the way, something keeps falling in the way. And I'm like, why? You know what, you made it so easy last time. Everything that we did, we got through. Let me keep at it. What I do in the mornings as well is, and it's very, very nice for me, and this is why I don't take a motorcycle to work, is once I go to work, I put my little earphones in and I listen to my little day piece, a little verse of the day and little Bible study. And then when I take my earphones out, I still got some time left, and that is time for my prayers all the way to work. And right from being thankful, everything that I'm being thankful for. If you know what, if you can wake up and actually just, first of all, acknowledge what you are grateful for, life already looks a whole lot better. Then I pray for people, places, everybody that needs it. And then, of course, I selfishly pray for myself as well. And you know, it's been a tough thing, and we're going, and something that I thought would never occur has suddenly occurred. And as I said, I'll tell you about it next week, because it's something that I really can't talk about now because I cannot make it public, and I don't know who will watch us. But once again, when you say, open the way and find the way that I need to be open, and you actually stop looking at doors that are being closed and suddenly look at the doors that are opened, it is unfreaking believable that what happens. You know what? When you've asked for double, believe in double. Because I still can't believe that double occurred. I would like a double helping, and I thought, oh, it's only Isaiah that gets these type of things. Guys, these days, if we can stop pointing, start being grateful, and start looking after each other. I have wonderful friends here, good people, difficult people as well. I have easy people, and then I've a handful, and I can literally count them on my one hand, the good friends we have. But all I want to say to you is, when things get difficult, keep moving. But at the same time, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, because these are the things that we don't do. We are so busy screaming blue murder, screaming victim, screaming what's in it for me, screaming why is this happening to me. And I know it's easier said than done. I mean, I would like what has happened to have been much easier than what I'm expecting at the moment, and I'm praying that it would be much easier, and I'll see tomorrow. But when we can actually wake up and start saying, wow, you know what, thank you, and saying, where am I going? Is this where I'm supposed to be going? Is this where I'm wanting to go? And where am I supposed to be going? Maybe two things, maybe two different places. I wanted to go to New Zealand, beautiful first world country. I am very happy in war-torn third world country, Cambodia. I am better off where I am here than what I would have been where I wanted to go. But the doors open for me here. I've been wanting to do something else, but the doors have opened in another way. And as I said, my prayer was, let me try this out. I'll ask for double. People, don't be surprised when you get double. Don't be me. Don't be Bob. No, I'm kidding. Don't be Bob. Guys, it's been an evening of an absolute change. And I thank you for spending it with me. And I thank you if you've taken the time to listen to me. And I will give you the conclusion of what I was talking about tonight next week, be it good or be it bad. I'm expecting the result tomorrow. But all I'm saying is, the times that when doors open, walk through them, and walk through them confidently. You might not always end up where you want to be, but you will end up where you need to be. Cambodia wasn't a want, but I think it's a need. And then sometimes the lives that you work with and the people that you need to be an example to and the people that you interact with are not always local. You come and you go, well, I'm going to now be, and I've said it before. Why am I here? I'm not a missionary. Why am I here? I don't even know the local. Sometimes you're not here for local people. Sometimes you are here for people who got lost here too, just like you did. Guys, you're never lost. You're always where you should be. You just need to start looking and listening and appreciating. Something that I learned rather late in life, and something that I tend to sometimes often forget in life. Be grateful for where you are, because that's where you are meant to be. And stop looking at where you want to be and what you can make the most of where you are, because that's where you need to be. So look what you need to do there. From my side, guys, that was a story time with Wim Knashis. We will have the riveting conclusion very quickly tomorrow, next week. I'm not going to ramble on anymore, and I'm not going to go into the news and to the Twitters and all of that type of thing that I was going to go in today. For the guys watching, thousand thank yous. Carl, you just made my year, never mind my week. Linda, shout out to you. You're always around as well. If you don't catch live, I know you're on night shift, I think, for the next 3 weeks. I hope you're being looked after. I hope your family's healthy and everything is going for the better for you there. Yes, catch some of the other guys as well. Somebody always puts in uplifting moments, Dizzy's moments. She used to be the ex-Rhodesians Never Die. She has some good stuff as well. From my side, guys, let me not forget the pre-requests. Please like and subscribe to Pepper's Echo. The ordinary man in the street from the outside looking in. If you've got any good ideas, would like to come onto the show, or if I could force you to come onto the show, please drop me a line and I will phone you. Drop me a mail, peppersecho@gmail.com, PEPRSECHO, not double P and no E after that. Yes, it is like that because I forgot the original one's password. And from my side, guys, take care, be good, and remember, if you can't be good, be kind.